Well, I've made some progress in taking things apart. I've got the motor spins over freely. I pulled all the plugs out, and they're black, but they're not oil foul. This was like it was running rich, but no, I mean that's a long time ago, and I don't know how long these have been in here. But I'll get some new plugs. Broke one because they have a weird way of, they've got the plugs run in at an angle, and on the one spot in the back on the corner, it interfered with the plug wrench. I think I'm going to have to. The socket doesn't seem extraordinarily thick, but boy, it was right up against the exhaust manifold. It was kind of a fight getting that out. But if I can get one just a little bit thinner, maybe that'll be. Must have got them in there some way. But anyway, I broke that one. No biggie. I've had worse disasters with cars. I actually had on a Ford Explorer, broke the threaded portion off in the head. And those were a bugger to work on in the first place. They got plugs buried. So this came out. So that'll be okay. But I'm going to put oil in the cylinders and roll it over just to make sure so I don't have rings stuck or anything. Got the master cylinder out, which was a little different. I hadn't seen this kind of setup. Usually it's a plunger that just pulls out. Nope, Ford had to do it different. There was fluid in the front one, which I think is for the discs. Back one was empty. So, a person said, okay, this sometimes can be a problem because the government doesn't want you rebuilding cylinders. They want you to buy a whole cylinder. But I did find somebody who has rebuild kits for these for like $19. They're new old stock. So I can go that way because I can certainly rebuild a cylinder. So I can probably get this one to work as it is. The problem was it was stuck. The pedal was stuck down. But as long as I got it apart, I'll go ahead and rebuild it. But I've done a lot of that before. But like I say, I've run into the problem where the highway department doesn't want you buying kits and rebuilding your own brakes. And that's even on heavy equipment. They want you to buy a new cylinder. I don't like that. Because I can rebuild it for like $19. A new one's going to cost me $70, $80. They aren't that awful expensive, usually, but I'd sooner rebuild my own. Carburetor I can get a kit for. The throttle was really sticky. I mean, she closes but very slowly. And I don't know what this. It's like some electric high idle thing. I don't know what the point of that is, but she's there. But I'll get a kit so I can get a new accelerator pump and stuff because they're probably bad. And there's another diaphragm down below here. Don't know what it's for. But I broke the gasket getting it off. And I run into a heck of a lot of wasp nests and mud daubers, and this thing has been home to a few critters. But I'll get some oil and squirt in them cylinders and start ordering parts. I have to see if I can't get. I'm not a fan of Champion plugs. If I can get NGK, I'll go with them. But whatever. But I figure I might as well redo the master cylinder and the carburetor, because then eventually I'm going to be taking this motor apart, but at least I can have that much done, But it's going okay, except for that little battle with this evidently thick wall, but it don't look thick wall to me. But by God, she kind of chewed up the plug coming out. It's that close to the exhaust manifold. But Ford has got a different way of doing things. And I'm not really used to working on Fords. You know, actually, Chevys is what I normally work on. It's the most common thing that I work on. So it always surprises me when you run into some weird thing that only Ford does. But I work around it. I do have a new oil filter. If I get it running now, I'll change oil. Anybody want a cat? Not a friendly cat. I don't know if it followed me all the way out here, but well, I think the mother followed me and then it followed the mother. Well, I'll have to get ordering parts. But, you know, nice, the motor turns over, that's a very good sign. And there was no hammering when it turned over, so. You know, I don't think it was that, oh yeah, that's got to be the mother right there. Yep. Got a little done.